I am an IFBB Bikini Pro and bodybuilding.com's 2016 female spokesmodel.
That's awesome. So for people who are not familiar with this world at all,
Yeah.
what does that mean? I mean, that's a huge deal.
Being an IFBB Bikini Pro means that you competed at a national level and then won your class. Whenever I competed at the national level, I actually won my class and then I won bikini overall. I think there was like 222 girls, and that was my third show ever, so that was a huge accomplishment that I didn't see coming, or nobody saw coming. But then I went on to my pro debut, and then I decided to sign up for bodybuilding.com's spokesmodel search, and they took applications from all over the entire world, and then they narrowed it down to 20 males and 20 females, and then they had the public vote on it for the top 5 females and top 5 males. And then they flew us out to Boise so that we could see the headquarters and just walk around, learn more about the company. And they had interviews and photo shoots there, and it was awesome. And then after that, they sent us out to LA, to the LA Fitness Expo, and we had more shoots there. We went to the Nuva Studios. We did a photo shoot there for Train Magazine, and then we did another shoot at Global Fitness for like promotional stuff within bodybuilding.com, and then they had us perform on stage at the LA Fitness Expo, and it wasn't like a normal NPC show or bodybuilding show. Like, we got to dance on stage, we got to have the interview on stage, and kind of just goof around and be ourselves. And then they chose the winner, and for some reason they chose me. So it was amazing to be chosen as the top female in the entire world to represent bodybuilding.com, everything that they stand for, and their foundations that they provide, and the services that they provide too.
Oh, that is so cool. Well, and all of this, people, I think when they see bodybuilding, there can be some misconceptions, right? Like,
Yes.
they say, oh, just with your meatheads or whatever, but it is a ton of work, and it's got to be such a, mind over matter game.
Oh, it is. It is. A lot of people get really caught up. It can either, the way I look at it, it can either make your life so much better, or it can make your life so much worse. It's all about mindset. Whenever you go into it, you go into it to better yourself, and a lot of people go into it and they get so caught up in the competition and the lifestyle that they kind of lose themselves. And you grow mentally, physically, spiritually, and it's all in what you make of it. So, and then like you said, a lot of people have the misconceptions of bodybuilding being like so many, like, people on steroids, or women lifting weights to look like men, or anything like that. But there are different divisions, and there are natural organizations. Which I competed, my very first show was a natural show, and I am a natural athlete 100%, and I pride myself in that, because there are those athletes that give there are those athletes that give other athletes the bad name just because of, the 2 or 3 or 70% or whatever it is. I don't know what it is that do that. But within the bodybuilding world, for women, I think women see lifting weights will make you huge. But I lift heavy almost every day, and I'm still itsy bitsy. Like, I want to grow in some certain areas, but it's tough. But there's different divisions to compete in. Like, I compete in bikini, it's the smallest division. And then there's fitness, figure, physique, and bodybuilding.
Okay, so you said bodybuilding can either make it worse or make you better, but I know for you, it's made you better. Tell us about your journey.
Well, whenever I first started, I was never really overweight or extremely out of shape, but I was always unhappy with myself, and I wasn't healthy. I wasn't in shape. I wasn't, doing anything that made me feel special or powerful. So it was kind of one of those decisions that I had kind of seen some people that competed, and I was like, you know what? I want to push myself. I want to see where I can go with this. So I kind of decided, do it now or you're not going to do it at all. So I woke up one day, I started training, and then it just kind of went from there. I competed in my very first show 16 weeks after starting training, and I won bikini overall. And then after I won bikini overall, I decided, hey, I'm nationally qualified. It'd be cool to compete in the Arnold, because I never thought that I would ever be able to be at the Arnold, accepted into the Arnold, and you have to apply for the Arnold. And so I applied for the Arnold Amateur, and I was accepted, and I was crazy excited about that. And then I ended up placing second at the Arnold, and the Arnold is an international show where people from all over the world come and compete. So that was insane. And then after that, I decided to do Junior Nationals in Chicago, where I won bikini overall and I won my IFBB Pro card. And through this entire journey, I've had some setbacks that hit me really hard, but then always pushing yourself farther, always saying, hey, you know what, I'm strong. I'm getting stronger every day. Just keep pushing yourself. It's helped me so much mentally as much as it has physically, because now I can get through those things. I can come here, I can enjoy my workouts, I can become physically stronger while I become mentally stronger by knowing that I'm able to push through anything.
And yeah, oh my gosh, for sure. And you just started this, in 2014, 2013?
In March of 2013.
So you woke up and said, it's time.
Yeah. I contacted somebody who had been competing, and I said, hey, do you know a few resources that would be reliable for me to, research a little bit more? And they were kind of just like, hey, you know what, let's just get you started. And there I went.
And most people that get the card and win the competitions, how long have they been training and working into that?
A lot of people have been competing for years and years and years. And that's another way too, that a lot of people go out and they chase their pro card. Like, they do everything in their power to try to get the pro card, and that's the one thing that they're focusing on, is the pro card. And I think that a lot of people just lose their mind. They separate themselves from family, from life, because they are so focused on that one thing. And my focus was never on, I need to get my pro card or I need to win. It was always, do your absolute best and then be happy with any result that you have. Because going into this, I had people telling me left and right, you are not gonna be successful in this. You are not gonna do good. You're setting yourself up for failure. At every single show that I entered, at every single event that I went to, I had people telling me this. So in my mind, I didn't do it for them, but I just wanted to say, hey, you know what? I gave it my absolute all. I did my absolute best, and I'm gonna be happy with any outcome. And the outcomes have been pretty good.
When we talk pro card, for people that don't know anything about this world, what do you have to do to get that? I know it's a lot. It's not just like a credit card, right?
Yeah,
so much more.
Well, it is. It looks like a little card, but to get your pro card, you have to compete in a show that qualifies you for a national show. You have to place top 5 in most shows that are national qualifiers, and then you have to go to a national show. And I think there's only like 7 or 8 national shows a year, and you have to win first place at that national show. And that the national show is where all the top competitors from all over the world compete in hopes of getting their pro card. And then once you win your pro card, you compete at that higher level, the next level. I got my pro card in the NPC which makes me an IFBB Bikini Pro. So it's another level. Like, for example, for people who don't know like what the difference between levels is, like Arnold Schwarzenegger is an IFBB Bikini Pro. Like Ronnie Coleman, Ashley Coltwasser, they're all IFBB Bikini Pros. So it's a different level of athlete, and I competed in one pro show so far, but I plan on competing in more. But I have, since I haven't been doing this for very long, my mature muscle development, or my mature muscle isn't as developed as those other athletes. So I have a long way to go before I can be competitive in the IFBB Bikini division.
Sure. Well, I think you look great.
Well, thank you.
So when you come every day, I know obviously your fitness journey has been a progression for sure, but like what's a typical workout, what's a typical day, or a typical week maybe, because I know you do different things every day.
Typical week, just workout wise?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. Typical week, since my biggest problem area is my lower half, and that's one of the biggest things that they look for in bikini is symmetry and like feminine curves. I hit legs 3 days a week, so I'll start off normally on Sunday. I'll do a really heavy leg day, and then I'll make that my treat day where I have all my goodies. And then usually shoulders and abs on Monday, Tuesdays glutes, Wednesday back and abs, Thursday legs, Fridays cardio, and then Saturday is like an active rest day. And I can work out anywhere between an hour to like 2.5 hours depending on what I'm doing. And my problem is whenever I get to the gym and I'm coaching myself, so I make my training schedules myself, that I always know where I could push myself more. So then that's why I end up either like staying here longer, because I'm like, you can push more. I know you can do more. So like some days I'll be here forever. And my husband gets a little upset about that. But it's when I'm done, I'm done. So.
Exactly. Have you ever had, and I'd imagine, this gets really difficult, a day where you're like, I'm done, I give up?
Oh man, so many days. There's so many days that I kind of feel like, I don't want to come in, or I'm low on energy. Especially when you're in prep, closer to the show, you start to cut back a little bit on your carbs and your fats. And I have always made it a point not to cut back too much. There's some people that go to the extreme and they feel like walking zombies, and I've never wanted to do that. I felt like if I wasn't going to do this the healthy way, then there's no point of doing it at all. So, but the closer you get to the show, the more tired you get, and then the more stressed you get because you're just, focused on giving it your all. And there's so many days that I feel like, I don't want to do this. But then I come in and I actually get my workout in, and it's 100% true about what they say about workout endorphins, because after that workout, I always feel so much better. And I always feel like, all right, let's do this. It's, I almost feel like I need to have that feeling before I go to the gym so I can hit it hard from the get-go. But yeah, it's after I get going, I start to feel better, and then I'm like, okay, this is worth it. I feel good, and let's get today going.
So do you feel, I know obviously you work at the school as well, and you've worked there for 8 years, but do you feel like this is now your calling?
Oh yeah. I know I switched to working to the school to spend more time with my husband, and nobody dreams of cleaning toilets for a living, but it's a good job, and it's given me so much freedom in my life, and it's given me the ability to do this. But after I fell in love with this sport and fell in love with weightlifting, and I research every little bit that I can, I found that this is what I'm definitely passionate about, because anybody who knows me knows that I can't sit through a book, but I can spend hours upon hours researching nutrition, the way food is broke down within the body, you know, how to train different parts of the body, different types of training. And after I realized that, I was like, you know what, this is what I want to do. So I've been researching, and I've got it narrowed down to a few organizations for schooling to get my personal trainer's certification, and I've been looking into some nutritional classes so that I can get started within the fitness industry.
That's so cool. Well, and you were telling me you're a hunter. You obviously are as a custodian are working so hard every day, and then you come here. So do you feel like there are a lot of parallels in your life?
Huh?
A lot of parallels in your life? Like,
Yeah.
like that mentality kind of crosses over into everything, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely.
Yeah, did you ever think 3 years ago this is where you'd be?
Oh no, no. Well, that's whenever I decided to train for my first show. Like, it was kind of one of those things where I was like, you know what, I'm going to do this once to say, hey, you know, I did it. And then you know, when my husband and I have children, you can be like, hey, look, your mom competed in a bikini show. She did all right. I wasn't going to tell them any different if I did it, but after I won bikini overall at my first show, I think there was 96 girls. I didn't know anything about like the NPC or IFBB. I had people coming up interviewing me for magazines or, you know, like websites, and they were like, you know, you should do a national show now. And I'm like, cool, you know, what's that? And I had no idea. And then it was kind of one of those things that it grew, and the more I learned about it, the more I loved it. But no, whenever if anybody would have asked me 3 years ago, do you see yourself being, you know, active enough to go to the gym every day, or, you know, any part of the fitness industry, I would have laughed in their face and said no. So, but I love it, and I definitely think that I found my calling with this.
Do you feel, I mean, when people figure out or find out about your other job, what's the best reaction?
Nobody believes it. Absolutely nobody believes it. It does make me appreciate things so much more. I don't know if it's just because, you know, that's how I was raised, or, you know, because of my job, but everything that I do, I try to look for the positive in, and I try to appreciate every single thing. Like, I completely appreciate my job for everything that it's given me the ability to do, because there's absolutely no way that I could afford this lifestyle without a good job and the support of my family. So whenever I come into things, or I talk to people and I tell them, you know, about my accomplishments, or they see my accomplishments, they think, oh, you know the right people, or you're lucky. And it's you have to have the right state of mind. You have to believe in yourself, and then you have to just appreciate, you know, everything in life, and always give it your absolute best, because your dreams can be achieved if you put yourself out there and you work really hard. I think that's probably the number one thing that I've noticed so much is, you know, they say that the fear of failure kills more dreams than failure ever will. And it's true, because so many people out there have all of these dreams and all of these goals, but they won't go for it because they think that they can't achieve them. And every show that I've signed up for, I never thought, you know, hey, in a million years, would you win this? You know, but I went for it anyways, and I gave it my absolute all, and I was gonna be extremely happy with any outcome. And it's been really rewarding to see my hard work, you know, accomplish so much that I didn't know was possible.
Sure. So, and I love the analogy, like you're cleaning and then you're doing different kinds of cleans here.
Yeah. You cleans, power cleans are kind of dangerous, so I don't want to injure myself, so I don't do power cleans. But yeah, I clean there and I clean here, so yeah.
That's awesome. What do you hope your story does for people, or what do you kind of feel like? I know you said you feel like this is your calling. What's your hope for the future?
Well, my hope for my future is just to be, well, professionally, I would love to be within the fitness industry, doing what I love, helping people become happier and healthier. But overall, I just want to help motivate people, inspire people, because there's so many people that think, oh, you're the 1%. That could never happen for me. But you never know if anything can be accomplished if you don't go for it, if you don't really give it your all. Like, I'm a very small town girl and I clean toilets for a living, and I was just chosen as bodybuilding.com's spokesmodel, and I'm an IFBB bikini pro, and I never ever would have thought that possible. But if you go out there and you absolutely give it your all and you truly believe in yourself, great things are possible. I mean, you don't have to be stuck in a life that you don't love if you don't want to. Just push yourself, believe in yourself, and be positive.
I know you said you were a runner in high school.
I was a sprinter in high school, and I wasn't bad, and I was doing pretty well. But my sophomore year, I tore my hamstring. But then I decided to keep running, and then I re-injured I decided to keep running, and then I injured my other hamstring my senior year, so I had to stop running. And then after that, I completely stopped all lifting, and I got pretty out of shape because I was so worried about hurting my legs again. And that was the one thing that I was good at, because I'm blind in my right eye, so I can't judge distance. So I have a really hard time playing any other sport because they involve balls and hand-eye coordination, and I have none of that. So running was my one thing. And so now that, lifting, you don't need a whole lot of hand-eye coordination for that. So, that was my next, go-to activity.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. Do you get nervous ever still when you go up there? What goes through your mind when you're on stage?
Well, I actually really love being on stage. I don't like talking on stage, but I love being on stage. Like, I was in plays when I was in high school, and I never had any sort of stage fright. Like, that was not a problem for me. So whenever I go up there, normally I'm dressed in baggy sweatpants and baggy sweatshirts and not glammed up at all, except for Sundays when I go to church. But being up there in a very, very small bikini, completely glammed up, is so out of the norm. But the way I look at it is you're playing a part, like you're performing. And so I go up there and you play the part, you have fun, you just live it up, because when else are you, or where else are you gonna be able to do that completely glammed with the bling and the hair and the tan, the ridiculous tan, but just having fun with it. So I love being on stage.
What's the most ridiculous or funny thing to you about the whole process, where you're still like, oh, this is so weird to me?
A lot of it is pretty, out of the norm. It's becoming a little bit more normal now that I've done it a few times, but I think the spray tan, the first time I got it done, because a lot of people don't realize, they see you and they're just like, oh, bodybuilders are just orange, gross people all the time. And no, you want that really deep spray tan because the lights on the stage are so bright. It's just like theater in high school. If you're not completely tanned, you're going to be drowned out by the lights, and then you're not going to see any muscular definition or anything. So they do the ridiculous tan, and then the girls, you go and you get your makeup done, and it's like a ridiculous, it looks great on stage, but if you step off stage and you go and you have your post-show meal completely orange, all of the makeup, you get looked at a little bit weird. That was kind of strange. And then whenever you start to scrub it off, it kind of comes off in patches. So I wore long sleeves and pants for a very long time after my first show, because it was coming off in patches and you'd be orange in weird areas, and then you're just like, oh, okay.